I am excited to talk about La Cocina with you because I know you didn't really like it, and I thought it was spectacular.
Yeah, it's in your favorite. It's in your top four.
Well, now I'm doing a thing where just like the last any movie that I see
Yeah.
that's over 4.5 stars is in my top
Mm.
four. I just loved every bit of it. I loved the way it was shot. I love that for the first half
Mm.
of the movie, the top third or sometimes half of the screen is bereft of character.
Mm.
I thought the black and white was really good, and I thought the two scenes where there's a little splash of color were done really well. I've talked about this with Annie a lot because most television shows are about rich people, and I don't find that super interesting all the time, just because there is so much of it. Like right now, we are watching The Studio, Your Friends and Neighbors, and The Four Seasons. These are all movies about obscenely rich people doing
Well,
obscenely rich things.
well, yeah, and then just even recently too, you got the White Lotus, Succession, that are all these wildly popular shows. So yeah.
Modern Family was all rich people. I mean,
Mm.
like most shows are about really rich people who don't have any struggles. Now, I don't want the TV shows to necessarily be about the struggles, but I think the reason Roseanne was so popular is because it was about people like the people who were watching the show.
Mm.
And it's like The Office was about regular people doing a 9 to 5. Parks and Rec was not about rich people. These are
Mm.
funny shows that like, and these people aren't miserable, but they have to deal with like real stuff. And they can't
Mm.
just on a moment's notice go to Puerto Rico and then be upset because the trip isn't as fancy as they want it to be.
Mm.
Or White Lotus, which is about the trappings of wealth. So wait, what am I talking about? Oh, La Cocina. So I really liked
Yeah.
that this movie is about people who like have really very little and also are living around the corner from me because it takes place in sort of a timeless, it sort of feels like it's in the 90s. No, there's no cell phones, although there's just one when Rooney Mara's character goes to an abortion clinic at one point in the movie, these girls are talking about a reality show, and I looked up the reality show they're talking about, and it's current. And I was like, oh, that's weird because this movie seems to be very analog, but
Mm.
then they're talking about this.
Yeah. What was the show? The reality show?
I don't remember now.
Oh,
It's not something I watch.
right. Mm-hmm. But it
It's just,
exists. It's a real show.
it at least shares the name with a show that exists now.
Oh, okay.
So
Mm.
maybe it wasn't meant to exist. Maybe it's a goof, but like reality TV also wasn't really a thing in the 90s
Mm.
to the extent it's not like you had the real world and that was it. So I
Yeah.
thought that was like weirdly anachronistic in a movie where no one's using cell phones. Like there's literally people going up to payphones
Right. Yeah.
and stuff like that. So I thought it was really well acted. And it was, I know your complaint about it was that it was long and you felt like it kind of lost the plot, but I like that it was just sort of, the mood was what I think the workers in the kitchen, it's about people who work in basically a TGI Fridays in Times Square,
Mm-hmm.
back of house.
Well, in front of house too. There's some front of house stuff going on in that movie. Yeah.
But the story is about what happens in the kitchen.
Mhm.
There are waitresses. Yeah, there's a little bit of front of house stuff. Like Rooney Mara at one point, you see what she's dealing with the customers, but it's much less about that. It's much more about the folks in the kitchen who are primarily not permanent residents and they're being teased by the restaurant owner, baited with citizenship or with a green card. I thought like the sort of crushing feeling of the movie was meant to give you the crushing feeling that they're enduring as kitchen workers, and I really, really like that. And I loved the ending, which I won't spoil because this is on Mubi right now, and you can watch this on Mubi for.
Yeah, and it's more recent. Yeah.
Yeah, it came out last year.
Yeah. Did you update your top list of last year?
I did, which we will get to later
when we do that episode. Yeah, I love the aesthetics of the movie too, and I mean, I love the way it's shot. I mean, anybody who's going to use black and white, you've got my attention. Number one, because like I love it, and especially when it's used well. So there was like when we talked about recently, we talked about The Frighteners. I was like, oh yeah, there's a lot that I like about this movie, and there's a good things behind it. But yeah, I that main character, I hated him. I hated him so much, and I couldn't sympathize with him by the end. And I felt like maybe the movie kind of wanted me to.
I don't think we were meant to like sympathize with these people. Like I think in the beginning of the movie, maybe you are, but as more about him comes out, he's vile.
He's terrible, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you're meant to sympathize with him. I think it's daring you to confront that he's a real person, just like anyone else. And just because his story is difficult and his dad doesn't like him and he's in America trying to do his best and he's charismatic and he wants to start this family. But it also, like, what I liked about it was it sort of brings back around, like, why is she being unkind to him? And it's like, she knows he's unkind.
Yeah.
So I think it's just sort of like revealing him as the movie goes on. I think you're absolutely not supposed to like him or feel like behind him at the end of the movie. He's destroying everyone. In fact, the movie kind of makes you hate the white guy in the kitchen at the beginning, the dude with long hair. And by the end, you're like, no, that guy was right.
He's not that bad, yeah.
He's dealing. And also the movie tells you he's not that bad because other characters are like, man, that guy's such an ass. He's like, yeah, but when they tried to fire me, he threatened to quit unless they kept me. He's a dick. but he's being pushed by this other guy who's such a monster.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just thought it was complicated, not like mischaracterized.
Interesting, yeah. But I'd still recommend it, even though like I gave it, I think I gave it 3 or 3.5 stars. I mean, I'd still recommend it because it's a unique movie, and I mean, clearly we can have very disparate opinions about it. So I would certainly despite my hesitations, would definitely still recommend it.
Yeah, me too. But I gave it 4.5 stars. I think it's fantastic. It's one of my favorite movies of 2024, which we will talk about on an upcoming episode.